Hi guys, Football Manager youthdevelopment.co.uk here. In this episode for Football Manager 2016, I'm going to show you the things that you need to do on the first day of your job. This video will mainly be aimed at beginners of Football Manager, so if anybody else has got any tips that they'd like to share, please do leave your comments in the comments section below. So guys, for the purpose of making this video, I'm going to be using Tottenham. I will be doing a gameplay series with Tottenham, so just thought I'd show you guys just the how I've set everything up basically. So I've not even pressed the continue button yet. So obviously when you do first take over your club, the first thing that you're gonna want to have to look at is the players you have got at your club. So potentially you might have a sort of formation in mind or a tactic in mind that you do want to use. Whenever you do make a tactic on Football Manager, it's always very important that you make the most of your better players' ability. So obviously for Tottenham, they've got players like Christian Eriksen, Harry Kane, Lamela, Vertonghen, etc. So they do have some very, very good players in their squad. And the good thing about Tottenham, so having a look at their team, they've obviously got quite sort of some young players in the squad, and they've also got quite a number of sort of quite decent English players, which I was quite pleased about. One of my sort of aims with this save file that I'm going to be doing is to have as many English players as possible. Basically, I've already got a load of kids from the youth teams that I've already promoted. So what you need to do first then, guys, is just have a look for your team, just decide on what type of players that you might need. The next thing to do is to create tactics. So I have made a tactic here for Tottenham. I've obviously not played any games with this tactic yet. I still need to have a little bit of a play around with Christian Eriksen and Lamela, just to kind of actually decide how I want to use these guys. Obviously they're going to be really, really important for this formation. That's something I do really need to focus on. So after you've kind of assessed your squad and picked a formation, the next thing to do is, if you go to team report, if you go to squad and then go to squad depth, there's a new feature on Football Manager 2016 where you can pick your best 11. This is quite a handy feature actually. It puts all the players it looks like it's the opinion of your assistant manager. He basically kind of said, gives you advice on which players to use and their best positions, etc. So I can see here that the kind of lowest rated star I've got is 2.5 stars, and that's Ryan Mason in the middle of the park. Ideally, what I would like to probably do, and what I'm going to come on to in a minute, so ideally I do like to have like a ball winner midfielder in that position there. So currently Tottenham don't particularly have anyone that I consider to be suitable enough, so I have needed to pick the formation with the 3 in the midfield instead of one kind of dropping back like that. Once you've kind of decided which players you do need to sort of focus on buying, the next area that you need to have a look at is the finances screen. So it's completely different now for Football Manager 2016. We can see here on the right hand side we have all the budgets. We've got our transfer budget of £17 million, which I'm very, very happy about, and Tottenham in a absolutely fantastic position financially. £87 million. So so usually I do manage kind of lower league clubs and sort of non-league clubs, so having that kind of bank balance is something I'm not particularly used to, so it would actually be nice to have a little bit of money to spend. Our wage budget at the moment, we have a wage budget of pretty much 1.5 million, and we're currently spending 1.2, so lots and lots of we can get some pretty decent players with the amount of transfer that we've got and our wage budget as well. So knowing how much money you've got, you can then go to the scouting screen. Tottenham currently have 5 scouts. We can have a maximum of 8, I believe it was when I had a look. So what I've decided to do just for now, I'm going to be looking for young English players, just under the age of like 23, just having a look and seeing what players are around. Obviously I want players with good potential ability. Like I said, I do want to have a squad with a number of good English players, so fingers crossed that scout can find some pretty decent players. I'm also having a look in France, because that's quite a quick nation to scout, and the players can sometimes be quite cheap from there. And then the rest of my scouts at the moment, they're just going to be scouting in Central Europe. What I will be doing pretty soon is bringing in additional scouts, and I probably want to scout you know, Scandinavia, potentially like Eastern Europe as well, just because the players are quite cheap. At the moment, I'm quite happy just scouting in Central Europe because I think that's going to give us enough opportunity to find the right type of players. If we have a look at the all known screen, you can see here that I have already been searching for a defensive midfielder. What I've basically been doing, I won't go into it in details on this one, but yeah, just kind of picking the key attributes. Obviously I want to kind of build quite a youthful team here with Tottenham, so I'm looking for sort of quite young players, and then I'm just making sure that I get scout reports on all these players. Yeah, some of them I can't say I've actually heard of, but already I'm finding some pretty decent players. Whether or not they're good enough for Tottenham at this stage of their careers, I'm not particularly sure. But yeah, certainly worth kind of scouting as many players as possible. The next thing that's really advisable to have a look at, if you click on the board screen, you can have a look here at these staff roles. Now this is going to be very, very important. So Tottenham don't actually have a director of football on this Football Manager, but having a look down, the kind of things you want to take a look at is the number of scouts allowed. Like I said earlier, they've got 8 scouts, and I think they're kind of coaching staff, so they've got 4 coaching staffs at the moment, and they can have a maximum of 7. So the next area that I'm likely to have a look at is just have a look at the coaches. Quite clearly, we want to get these as high as possible, these stars. It's sometimes a good idea to just ask your assistant. It looks like that's already been done. But yeah, you can, you know, so I know that I need to basically probably get another fitness coach in, another attacking coach, and a shooting coach as well. So yeah, that's another thing that I'm going to be focusing on, just, you know, kind of making sure that I'm familiar with my team, the scouts that I've got, and yeah, just kind of identifying, you know, players that we need to bring into the club. Pretty much that's most of the things. So obviously it's also good to have a look at some friendlies and things like that. It looks like we're maybe going to be doing a tour, yeah, of like America or something like that, or Canada by the looks of things. Yeah, it looks like we're going to be doing a little bit of a tour. So yeah, these are all quite good things to kind of know about as well. So that's pretty much it for kind of like first day at the club, I think. Obviously just have a real good sort out of your club. If there's any players that won't particularly get too much game time for your team, then obviously you can think about either sending them out on loan or getting rid of them, yeah, just through transfer. And yeah, it's just basically about being organised on your first day, just making sure that you know your players, your staff, identifying your tactics really, really early, and of course just making sure that you're trying to find players that are going to be suitable for the team that you're managing. I'm going to call this the end of this episode, guys. With the new Football Manager 2016 being out, I'm going to be making a hell of a lot of new videos and things like that. So yeah, do subscribe to the channel, and yeah, we'll be back very, very soon for some more Football Manager 2016 videos. Also, please do press the like button, as it does really help the channel. Yeah, we'll be back soon anyway, guys. Thank you.